Rogers, and welcome to Around Town with the Laurel Board of Trade. I'm filling in for Brian Keys. He'll be back next time. And today we're going to be talking about some interesting events that we have coming up in September that I know that you'll want to join us. First, we have Garry Wilson, who is a director on the Laurel Board of Trade. And Garry, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourselves first before we start talking about the networking?
Okay. Well, I'm the owner of 98.6 Sound. We actually provide services for concerts, festivals, conferences, things like that. We've been in business for, I guess, over 15 years. And we do a lot of things in support of Laurel. I live in Laurel, so I like doing that. So that's I guess a little bit of some information on 98.6 Sound.
Well, you've been a great asset to the Laurel Board of Trade, and you've also done the sound for Laurel Main Street Festival and Riverfest.
Yes.
Different events like that. So we've started a new sort of thing that we're doing at Laurel Board of Trade, just a different way of doing networking sessions, and you and Jody Broughton are working on that together. So why don't you tell us about networking sessions in general and how they're helpful?
So, I have actually, I guess you can say, did some research on business networking things for a couple of years now. And I've always thought it was pretty interesting. And once I became a director on the Laurel Board of Trade, I thought this was something that would be useful, to the members of the Laurel Board of Trade. For the most part, you have an event where small businesses get together and they learn about each other's businesses. Of course, you try to make some good personal contacts there. And, in the end, hopefully this could be beneficial for everyone that's involved. So typically, these events are at restaurants. They don't have to be, but a lot of times they're at restaurants because it's a luncheon, And it's just a way for businesses really to kind of get together and hopefully do future business, through references and things like that.
So the first time we did it under this new way was at Famous Dave's restaurant.
Yes. Yes.
And it was, a lot of people showed up. It was wonderful. So why don't you tell our viewers what happens during the course of a networking session, this new way that we're doing it?
Okay. So for the most part, the format is, the event is typically 2 hours long. It's usually starts at 11 o'clock, so we're talking 11 to 1. The first part of it is just the actual networking. People come in, they kind of mingle with each other. They hopefully will reach out and make some contacts. After we get through that part of it, then comes the welcoming. So the Laurel Board of Trade usually will have one of the executive officers there to give a welcoming to all the guests. Once that is done, probably do a little bit more networking before we actually sit down for lunch. During this time, once you sit down, everybody's given an opportunity to give an elevator pitch. So this is like 30 seconds to just say what your company is about. And we will time you. So people can get a little long-winded, but anyway, it's just an opportunity to give a little bit of information about your company. And after that is finished, is then time, of course, to do lunch. During lunch, we may have our giveaways. Some other things may transpire during that time frame. After lunch, there's another opportunity for networking. And by this time, it's pretty close to the end, and some people will stay a little longer because they've already made some really good connections.
Great, great. And what should a person bring to this networking session?
So the first thing you really should bring is a lot of business cards. Because believe it or not, people actually forget to bring their business cards. But that is very, very important. So make sure that you bring your business cards. If you do have company attire, like for example, the Laurel Board of Trade here. If you have that, please make sure that you wear it. So you want to represent your company. And then let's see. Okay, your business cards, your shirts, if you have them, and just be ready to mingle. I mean, and don't be afraid to approach someone because, a lot of people sometimes have, a little apprehension about meeting someone that they don't know. But the Laurel Board of Trade, we're all family, we're friendly, and so that's something that's pretty easy to do. So I would just say make sure that you bring your cards, your attire, and a good attitude.
Right, because we're all there wanting to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So do you have to be a member of the Laurel Board of Trade to attend?
No, you don't. Actually, this is open to everyone. I mean, for small businesses, individuals who are thinking about starting a business. For the most part, it's for the Laurel area and surrounding areas. However, you don't have to be just a Laurel resident or someone in the immediate area. If you want to make the trek up to Laurel, we will welcome you with open arms. So it is open to anyone who's interested in attending, and it's free. So there's no cost. Since it is a luncheon, we always try to have it set up where the billing is per individual opposed to a group ticket. So lunches are, individuals' responsibility. Usually the Laurel Board of Trade will offer some refreshments. You don't necessarily have to buy lunch if you don't want to. You can come, you do your mingling, do your networking, and if you feel as though you've gotten enough and you're ready to leave or you have to leave, then it's understandable. But that's pretty much how the flow is as far as what you need to bring and your personal responsibility at the event.
From the last one, do you remember the kind of businesses that were there? I know we had some.
It was pretty diverse.
Yeah, we had lawyers. We had Laurel Historical Society.
Yes, we had people from the insurance industry, realtors. We had a company that did videography.
1-800 water damage was there.
We also had a magician.
That's right, a magician.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting. So it was pretty diverse. And on top of that, it turned out really well. It was pretty much standing room only. We overflowed into the other part of the restaurant, which is great. So the turnout was fantastic, and we hope that this will continue.
Right. So anything else you want to add?
Oh, I guess one thing that's pretty important is one of the other reasons for having this event is, something for the members. If you're already a member of the Laurel Board of Trade, this is for you. This is something that that's part of what you get when you join the Laurel Board of Trade. Of course, anyone who's coming who's not a member, we would welcome them to become a member because not only do you get this opportunity at the luncheons, you get to, your name is put on the website. Of course, you have availability to not a booth, I shouldn't say a booth, but a space for possibly Main Street Festival. There's some other things that you get. There's a long list of things that you get being a member, but these are just some of the things.
Right, and the great thing is that you can be on this show as a member of the Laurel Board of Trade because we interview the people who are members about their business. In fact, the next segment will be somebody who joined at the last networking session we had. So that will be great. So reach out to me just to let me know that you're coming to the event on September 18th, and I'm the administrative coordinator at Laurel Board of Trade. You can reach out to me at 301-483-0838, just so we can get an idea. But at the last minute, if you decide to come, that is fine also. Our email address is laurelboardoftrade383@gmail.com. And I've also put it on Facebook, and we'll get it on the website also. So it should be a great event. It was a wonderful event last time, so this will only be better. Thank you so much for coming and sharing that with us. And stay tuned because our next guest will be somebody who just joined the Laurel Board of Trade, and we'll be talking to them about what they do.
All right.
For history, entertainment, great shopping and dining, Laurel's historic downtown Main Street is where you'll find it. The iconic Laurel Railroad Station is an important part of the community that preserves Laurel history. Catch a glimpse of both the historic train stop on the east end and the mill houses on the west end during the Laurel Walking Tour. And be sure to stop at the Laurel Museum, which is open for tours. Every May, large crowds fill downtown Laurel for the popular Main Street Festival. Great food, music, and even greater company are what guests come back to year after year. However, Main Street is something to be enjoyed every day of the year. With numerous boutiques and gift shops, that won't be hard to do. Stroll down Laurel's historic Main Street and discover the heart of the community.
Welcome back to Around Town with the Laurel Board of Trade. I'm Maureen Rogers, filling in for Brian Keyes. And our guest today is Wayne Markey, one of our newest members of the Laurel Board of Trade. And Wayne, why don't you tell us the name of your business and just a little bit about your business and yourself?
Thank you, Maureen. And again, thanks for the Laurel Board of Trade for having us in today. We really do appreciate it. I am with the Mid-Atlantic Virtual Bookkeeping and Accounting Services firm. We offer bookkeeping and accounting services to small and large businesses where they can outsource their bookkeeping business to us. My background is that as an attorney CPA, and I've got over 25 years consulting with businesses. And one of the things that I see a lot of in the business community is that a lot of businesses do not have the requisite bookkeeping systems in place, and ultimately it ends up hurting their business. They end up failing because they don't have adequate bookkeeping and accounting services. So again, that's pretty much, we serve the Mid-Atlantic region, Maryland, Virginia, DC. We're local here, and we've got offices in Laurel. We're local here. But again, we love Laurel. We, again, appreciate the Board of Trade having us here today, which is a great organization. Again, I love working with them, giving back to the community, the networking associated with the Laurel Board of Trade. I would tell anybody that's interested in the business community, hey, get involved with the Laurel Board of Trade. It's a great organization.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate that. I know I run a nonprofit myself, and so we just kind of grab somebody who seems to have a way with numbers, and they become the treasurer. What are some of the benefits to a small business or a nonprofit in using you?
Well, I would tell you that, one of the things that small business owners, medium-sized business owners, a lot of them, they're good at certain aspects of business, be it marketing, having world-class service. But a lot of times after they do all their marketing and providing world-class service, and maybe it's after hours, they got the drudgery of going back and then doing the books and records, which really is a headache for a lot of business owners. And it also detracts from the things they're good at. So our firm, Mid-Atlantic Accounting and Bookkeeping Services, takes that headache away from the business owner, and it allows CPAs and bookkeepers to actually oversee it, make sure you're compliance with all the government regulations, your payroll returns are done timely, because the last thing you want to do is get involved with an IRS audit for taxes. And again, a lot of people don't know it, but the Internal Revenue Code actually requires you to keep adequate books and records. So our firm takes that headache away from the business owner, and we provide that to you in a virtual context. Now, the business owner still has access to the reports, the management information reports, which we help devise for you. We take a look at your business, we try to understand what's going on with your business, and we'll actually advise you or recommend management information reports that the accounting system will generate so that you can more efficiently manage your business. That's another thing that I see, Maureen, a lot of times in my profession, is that a lot of times the business owner is not getting these management information reports so that they can adequately manage their business. I see that it's lacking.
So they're kind of doing business blindly without really knowing.
That's right. They don't know the relevant parameters, the metrics of their business, and what are the key metrics of the business. And I can tell you a number of stories where business owners go out, maybe their sales are at 7 million. They go out and they increase their sales to 10 million. They say, hey, Wayne, we had a great year. And then I say, well, let me see the books and records. They say, well, we're putting them together now. We didn't have, they sort of fell behind. We didn't do them timely. Next thing you know, I get them and we find out the incremental sales of 3 million, they ended up losing 250,000 on their incremental sales. When it's like, guys, if you had the requisite management information reports available, you would know what are your key gross profit sales margin on those products, and you would emphasize those. That's another aspect of our business that we help the business owner with.
Right, and I would imagine keeping good records and keeping them in a timely manner allows you to get your taxes done so that you're not paying fines.
Well, actually, it gets them done timely, but more importantly, it allows us to do what we call tax planning. So one of the things that I try to educate business owners on is that the fact that you can get timely records, it allows us in the fourth quarter of the fiscal year to do tax planning so that we don't leave anything on the table for the government. So many taxpayers, they do their books after the fact, and then they come to me and say, hey, Wayne, it's April of the succeeding year. Can we do some tax planning now? And I educate them and say, well, it's too late to do tax planning now. We've got to do it within the current year that you're doing. So it's important, obviously compliance, which is preparing the return, getting it filed on time is important. But more important than that is doing the tax planning so that we can minimize how much you're paying to the federal and state government. So important, because one of the things I like to tell clients, and I actually had a client that I represented. I'd go in at year end, and we'd sit down for the year end meeting, and he'd say, Wayne, I want to know one thing. And it was a pretty sophisticated investor. He said, Wayne, I want to know one thing. Did we leave anything on the table? I want you to, and I would say, no, we didn't. Then he would say, now prove it to me. Show me what you did to make sure we didn't leave anything on the table for the federal government or the state government. So does a business owner meet with you monthly, or do they send you the records monthly, or they fill out those forms? Well,
how do they get the information to you?
Great question, Maureen, great question. What we do is we take a look at the business, and either we'll take a look at it, see what the parameters of the business are. It may, depending on the volume of what they're doing, the complexity, the industry, it may entail meeting monthly, it may entail meeting quarterly, or it may entail meeting semi-annually. But it depends. I like to say a lot of times, and people, I get a lot of questions in the business community and a lot of things, and then a lot of times people may not take it the right way, but I say the answer to that question, Maureen, is a definite maybe. And people think I'm being a little bit smart when I say that, but so much of business is a definite maybe. There are situations where you're a gray area, and you got to be able, as a trusted advisor, you got to sit down with your clients and be truthful with them in that regard. So to answer your question, it depends. And we go through, we've got a client questionnaire that Mid-Atlantic's put together, pretty comprehensive. And what we do, it's a client intake sheet, and we go through and you give us a lot of the information, and then we'll be proactive, come back to you and say, hey, this is what we think, this is what we think you should do. Now, ultimately, if the business owner feels they want to meet with us monthly, we'll be glad to do it. You know, if we say, well, it's, you know, to keep the fees down, to be cost effective, we'll meet with you quarterly because we think we can handle, you know, we think we can give you good feedback on a quarterly basis. Now, if the business owner comes back and says, hey, we want to meet with you monthly, we'll be glad to do it. But again, it depends. It depends on the type of business, the industry, the volume of sales, et cetera, whether we meet, you know, at what periods throughout the year.
I would think that having you all take care of books, that part of the business, would be a great relief for a business owner.
Well, it takes like as I said, it takes a headache away from them that maybe they're not good at. Why does a business owner want to sit around dealing with cash receipts, journals, cash disbursements, journal, reconciling bank accounts when they can outsource it to Mid-Atlantic, and then they can focus on maybe it's talent, securing additional talent, people, marketing, their marketing program, you know, or delivering world-class service. I'm constantly mentoring clients on the principles of world-class service, and maybe that's another session for us, Maureen. You can have me back on that. But I've actually given a couple sessions on delivering world-class service. So I tell clients, hey, if I were you guys, concentrate on delivering world-class service to your clients and let the bookkeeping and accounting services outsource it to Mid-Atlantic, and we'll take care of that for you. And again, we'll be cost-effective. I would guarantee to anybody that comes with Mid-Atlantic, we'll be able to show you as a road that will be cost-effective, the fees that we charge, as opposed to you going out, getting your own software, hiring a bookkeeper, overseeing that entire accounting function, et cetera, everything that goes through with it, and then making sure the bookkeeper's doing things right, you've got your payroll returns done on a quarterly basis, your sales tax returns are done monthly, et cetera. I would tell you that we'll be cost effective when you compare that.
Sounds like you are giving world-class service to your clients.
Well, I tell you what, a passion of mine is delivering world-class service. And that's what would actually put me on a journey to coming up with the principles of world-class service. It's pretty strange, Maureen, and I would tell you this, as many years as I've had in business, I used to, you know, we'd get people in giving seminars and I would sit in them and I'd be the first one to raise my hand and say, hey, can somebody tell me what the principles of world-class service are? And you would be surprised and shocked that a lot of people, they say we deliver world-class service, and I say, yeah, you say you deliver it. Well, tell me what the principles are. So it's a passion of mine. I've developed a set of principles of world-class service that maybe in a future session, I'll sit down and we can talk about that.
That would be great.
I'll be glad to do that, Maureen.
Now you'll be given an educational networking session in September on the 25th, right? Is that what we agreed on? Thursday? No, Thursday the 26th of September at your offices.
Correct.
Starting at 4:30 p.m.
4:30.
So
free of charge to, you know, anybody that wants to come. Again, I guarantee you, I'll be a speaker. We'll probably have a couple other speakers there. But I use the phrase thought leadership. I like to talk to business owners about thought leadership topics, things that create value for business owners. And I guarantee that anybody that comes to our presentation, we won't be sitting around talking about compliance items and things that, you know, we're going to put everybody to sleep. We're going to be able to provide solutions and thought leadership to the people in attendance. I think, Maureen, I would tell you a lot of times people say, hey, Wayne, what do you do? And I always tell them, I'm an executive solutions consultant. I help clients achieve goals and aspirations. And I'm serious about that. It might sound corny, but I am serious. And when I talk about thought leadership, that's what I mean. I mean, we're going to help as a trusted advisor to business owners. we're going to help them achieve their goals and aspirations. And that's what we do, and that's what again, circle back to world-class service. As a trusted advisor, that should be our guarantee to you guys, that we're going to come back to you and provide you with solutions that's going to help create value for your business.
It sounds fantastic.
So that seminar on the 26th, again, free of charge. I would invite anybody to come on over. And again, one of the things we'll do after the presentation is, I love to have it, is question and answer. Hey, go ahead, fire away. Anything dealing with business.
Okay.
I will be glad to take your questions.
So give the name of your company again, and where it's located, and how they can get in touch with you.
Again, Mid-Atlantic Virtual Bookkeeping and Accounting Services. We're located right over here at Larch Place, 3416 Larch Place. Again, we're on the, we've got a website, www.midatlanticvirtualbookkeeping.com. You can do that. Again, I always like to give out my phone number, because again, in the principles of world-class service, you don't have to go through 6 different people. You call this number, 443-854-5954. That's my cell phone number. You get to talk to me. You don't get to talk to some staff accountant, some secretary, etc. Now, if I'm in a meeting, you know, I may have to take a message, but I'll get back to you. How fast should I get back to everybody, Maureen? I would tell you this, principles of world-class service. We said within 4 hours. That's the principles of world-class service.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for coming. I am looking forward to the educational networking session at your business, and you've certainly stirred my interest up. So please get in touch with me about if you need more information about coming to that session, and we look forward to seeing you there. Thanks again
for having us, Maureen.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
For history, entertainment, great shopping and dining, Laurel's historic downtown Main Street is where you'll find it. The iconic Laurel Railroad Station is an important part of the community that preserves Laurel history. Catch a glimpse of both the historic train stop on the East End and the mill houses on the West End during the Laurel Walking Tour. And be sure to stop at the Laurel Museum, which is open for tours. Every May, large crowds fill downtown Laurel for the popular Main Street Festival. Great food, music, and even greater company are what guests come back to year after year. However, Main Street is something to be enjoyed every day of the year. With numerous boutiques and gift shops, that won't be hard to do. Stroll down Laurel's historic Main Street and discover the heart of the community.
Welcome back to Around Town with the Laurel Board of Trade. And I'm very excited to introduce you to Garry King, who is a director on the Laurel Board of Trade. He's also vice president, one of the vice presidents, and he is chairman of Riverfest, which is one of our big functions in September. So Garry, why don't you tell a little bit about yourself, and then let's talk about Riverfest.
All right. Thanks, Maureen. I'm excited to be here. I'm Garry King of King Productions, and I own a labor staffing and event production company that specializes in audio, lighting, and entertainment booking for concerts, private parties, weddings, and corporate events, and covering everything between. And our job is to pretty much make your show happen. But today I'm here as the Vice President for the Laurel Board of Trade. We are a nonprofit organization that operates off of Main Street, and we are teamed up with over 100 small businesses in the area. The Laurel Board of Trade works with and partners up with the City of Laurel, PG County, and the State of Maryland. And we are here to help the local merchants network and network and strive together as a community. And so we are the driving force behind many of the events in the area. We do the Main Street Festival, which we have 50 to 100,000 people come out each year. We just had the Back to School Jam, which a few hundred backpacks and school supplies we handed out to needy families in the area. And then we got Riverfest coming up.
Great. And tell us about Riverfest. It's a smaller event than Main Street Festival, but it's such a great location and a great event.
1, 2, 3.
Riverfest is special. I'm so excited about this show, but we put a lot of time and positive energy into this. And there will be live music on 2 stages. We have food trucks, art craft vendors, 50-50 raffles, kids area with a playground, moonbounds, face painting, There's games and a hayride too. Can't forget about the hayride. That one's always a fun favorite thing for everybody. But all this free admission is fun for the whole family.
It's a great time, and I think at this particular festival, it's so great because you have the time and the space to really interact with the vendors, and you'll see most of Laurel there, and you can actually talk to them, right?
Oh, absolutely. And you know, a lot of locals and people from all over the area come out to the show and enjoy the festivities down by the river. And we want to provide an atmosphere where people can come out and enjoy the wonderful surroundings of nature, get to do some shopping at the art and craft vendors, eat some good food, listen to great music, let the kids have fun on the playground and the moon bounce, and you know, just kind of bringing the neighborhood together.
So who do you have on the first stage? What would that band be?
On the first stage, so we have, starting off with the incredible Madeline Waters singing the national anthem at noon.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, she's from the three-piece all-female folk band called Wicked Sycamore, and if you guys have never heard of them, do yourself a favor, check them out. They are really talented.
Great. They are great.
After that, we have Tumble Home. They are a blues, funk, soul, and kind of Motown classic rock cover band. So really just playing a good variety of everything for all types of people, and something to really get the festivities going. Also on the main stage, we have 3 DJs from the local Bach to Rock school in Fulton, and they're just middle school to high school students, and they're just playing a good plethora of music and kind of getting the crowd dancing in between the bands. So.
And how about the second stage?
Second stage,
more local.
The local
right?
Laurel stage, absolutely, yeah. So we are starting the stage off with the Black Sevens. They are a blues, punk, and classic rock cover band. I really enjoy listening to them. And after that, we have Mike Walls doing an acoustic Americana set. So he's a very talented gentleman that lives in the area. After that, we have Hardman and Jay. They're an acoustic duo that kind of specializes in oldies, rockabilly, and classic rock. And finally, Dry Season, to be closing out the second stage. They are from also Bach to Rock. So, and they are just high school students rocking out to music from the 90s. And they're all very talented. So a lot of local great music from the area and festivities, and it's all good vibes.
And it seems like everybody will like all the music because it's such a different variety.
It's a little mix for everybody, yeah.
So why is Riverfront Park a good place to have this festival?
It's a beautiful park. It really is one of the most gorgeous parks in kind of Laurel in this whole area, but it's 30 acres of parkland running next to the Patuxent River. So there's a 1.5 mile walking or bike path trail from the old dam ruins up to Route 1, and it's really a gorgeous spot. The city wants more people to know about this festival. So they're helping out, giving us a lot of resources and things like that, putting in their time and effort and helping us to really put on this festival. So I do want to give a huge shout out to Mayor Mo and the City of Laurel for putting all this on. And thank you guys for allowing us to continue to do this every year. And we really look forward to being a part of this great festival.
And there's no fee to get into the festival,
right? No, it's free admission, free for the whole family. Bring everybody. There's something kind of for everybody. Leave the pets and stuff at home, but come hang out, with the festivities by the river.
So for the families with kids, there's a lot of free stuff, besides the music, that's free, but there's a kids area to play in, swings and slides. And
swings, yeah, there's a whole playground that's already there for the kids, so it's a nice playground anyway, so they have that, but we'll have moon bounces,
that's
face painting, it's all,
and that's free.
It's all free,
right.
Yeah, you just show up. So, and there will be games, giant bubbles, and little things for everybody.
Yeah,
so
it's and it's just going to be a great place to go. We're still looking for vendors. We could use a couple more food vendors and craft vendors. Anybody can vend there. We have nonprofits. We have some corporations. We really like to have the crafts and the direct sales people and food, so that everybody can maybe do a little shopping early for Christmas. Is there anything you want to add for?
No, these have all been great questions, so thank you, Maureen. You can email us if you have any more questions or if you want to be a vendor at riverfestlaurel@gmail.com or on Facebook at Laurel Board of Trade Presents Riverfest. Just type it in and it will pop up. So mark your calendar, September 29th from noon to 5 at the beautiful Riverfront Park in Laurel. It's about 2 blocks off Main Street, and it's a fun, free family festival, and we look forward to seeing you all there.
Great. And if you have any questions about anything today that you've seen, just give me a call directly. I'm the Administrative Coordinator of Laurel Board of Trade, and that number is 301-483-0838. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.